Go ahead and make a motion to open the meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Mr.
Aye.
Chairman, because we're doing Zoom, I'll do a quick roll call. Motion been made and second. Roll call is in order. Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to open our meeting and conduct business.
All right, perfect. Do you want to give us the town administrator report, Michael?
Yes, I can. Participated in the Mass Municipal briefing on immigrants being staged on the South Shore at hotels. And the MMA went through the types of funding, whether it's Chapter 70 funding or assistance to those communities that are directly impacted. Participated in the Woods Hole Multi-Hazard Mitigation Plan. It was meeting number 2, critical facilities, community assets, people, and vulnerable assets. Participated in Marshfield Housing Partnership meeting, where we talked about the partnership building a couple units of affordable housing. Participated in the DPW biweekly construction meeting. Steel has arrived for Section C and D of their project. Participated in a meeting with the Chamber of Commerce, Laurie Solomon, Lara Braitz, and DeCastro, Lieutenant Sullivan, on beach bus for the summer of 2023. Participated in the library trivia night at Haddad's. Participated in the opening of the on-call earthwork service bids for the dog park. Participated in the walkthrough with the asbestos contractors and Vertex, our agent that will be handling this, with Fred Russell, our facility director at the library. Had a luncheon meeting with Bill Grafton to go over some ongoing conservation projects. Had a FY24 budget meeting with Ann Bastille and Lisa Clark, our town accountant and treasurer. Participated in Marshfield Conservation Commission workshop with Coastal Zone Management, Mass DEP for coastal dune and coastal bank delineation. Had a cemetery walkthrough at Marshfield Hills Cemetery to identify and photograph Revolutionary militia graves, all part of the 250th anniversary. Participated in the Senior Center Craft Fair. Participated in the biweekly PMA meeting for police projects, DPW projects. Follow-up FY24 budget meeting with Fire Department with Ann Bastille and Lisa Clark. Follow-up on the FY24 budget meeting with the Police Department with Ann Bastille and Lisa. Participated in a veteran event at Proprietors Green with Karen Paulette and Lisa Potts, recognizing the veterans that were there prior to Veterans Day. Meeting with Sharon Doherty for deposition prep for the Bergeron case. Meeting with Marty Roderick and the Assistant Collector to resolve tax issue from Wrexham Terrace case. Participated in the biweekly owner, architect, and contractor meeting regarding police project. Participated in a meeting with Jonathan Grabowski at MCM on high-definition channel and fiber for the library with the IT staff. Participated in a biweekly DPW owner, architect, and contractor meeting for the DPW project at the DPW. Participated in school department meeting regarding South Shore Votech School. Participated in the MMA's workshop on updates on cannabis laws. She had the housing symposium at Library Plaza to discuss with state agencies the type of affordable housing that's needed in Marshfield, income eligibility, rental costs, and why it's so important to have affordable housing for the support of our local businesses. Attended meetings of the Plymouth County Retirement Board with Lisa Clark, our treasurer. Participated in a follow-up in FY24 budget meeting with schools. Finalized the school number. Participated in the Veterans Day Parade. Participated in a capital budget meeting to review FY24 requests by departments with Ann and Lisa. Participated in the Bergeron case deposition with lawyers from both sides of the case. Participated in a conference call with Matt Parent on aggregate electric. We have information up on the website. Anyone that's listening wants to go to the website. We have a little blurb about aggregate electric, and as we get more and more information, we'll continue to add to that. Participated with Fire Chief Simpson on a Marshfield Fire Department overtime meeting with Ann Bastille. Participated in a meeting with Craig Hannafin on Conservation Commission issues and the process of having an acting position while we fill the Conservation Administrator's position. Participated in the MMA managers meeting at Amherst College. Reach out to Stan Yusevich at Verizon to get a DPW pole installed so we can keep their project moving forward. Participated in a meeting with Mike Seal regarding Conservation Commission. Conference call with Bill Botigi and Matt Parent to review information on aggregate electric. And that is my town administrator's report.
All right, great, thank you, Michael. And then any updates on the vaccination and testing clinic?
I'm happy to report 3,467 people have been vaccinated, and now with the holidays, business is picking up, people are coming in. We see a steady flow of people, so people seem to be happy. They wanted to get vaccinated, especially with relatives coming to their house or going to elderly relatives' houses.
Great, thank you, Michael. Any questions or comments, Jim?
No, sir.
Any questions or comments, Lynn? All right, so we can get to our first appointment. I think Karen is out in the hall with Lisa. Would you mind getting them, John? And this is just kind of discuss the Eagle Scout project that Aiden is putting together. He's donating 4 boxes to be used to house discarded flags until they can be properly disposed of. So I think Karen had a little presentation for us, and we'll be ready to move forward.
It's perfect.
There you go, perfect. I don't know how you, where we're at,
You
but,
can sit right at that desk right there.
oh, we can.
Yes. You can leave that right there, yeah.
So, you come over here, hon. So, we have our Eagle Scout, Eden, Robert, and he has kindly worked for his Eagle Scout project to make 4 boxes to donate flags to various organizations, including Town Hall, because we are one of the places where people can drop off American flags to be disposed of properly. So in addition to Town Hall, Eden is donating a box to the VFW, to the Elks, in coordination with the AMVETS, and also to the DAV, which will have its own platform. That one will be outside. So right now, he's presenting the white box because he's allowing each organization to decide what kind of labeling they want on it, whether it's a flag or their emblem, including us. And so we will look into what's best for that. So he's been working for several weeks on this project, and he's done a fabulous job. We're very appreciative. Is there anything you would like to say?
I just want to say I appreciate, thank you for letting me be here. I just also want to say thank you to, the Elks, the AMVETS, and the VFW Auxiliary for donating money. Combined, I got a total of $700 in donations from them. And the total cost for the project right now is roughly about $300, not including the, the concrete base. So there's probably going to be about $400 being donated to the Marshfield Veteran Services. So I'd like to thank all of them for donating. And I also want to give a shout out to John Foster Lumber and Rob Nogue, who was in charge of it. He supplied the lumber for my boxes, and he also knocked off $100 for me. So I'd like to thank him for that.
Excellent.
Okay. And then
And so, Aiden, we would like to present you with the certificate of appreciation from our department, okay? So the certificate of appreciation is given in recognition of your respect for the flag and in support to our local veterans and organizations.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Moving in this area with
Thank
the
you.
salt.
Okay, come on over here.
Mr. Chairman, if I might, we might want to just recess and then we can do a group photo with everyone.
Sure, yeah.
Make sure they get my good side.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do that.
I don't want to.
Yeah, do you?
Absolutely.
I'm not sure.
Lisa has it. John will take it. Are you sure?
I'm holding it the right way.
I do.
Yeah, as the moment passed.
And there's my Stetson.
I guess, yes, it has. We'll worry about that next time.
Yeah.
Yes.
There we go.
Yeah, you're right in the middle here.
Ready? We'll take John first.
All right, great job. Y'all look great. All right.
For the newsletter. Thank you.
Moving on now. Thank you, guys.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Have a good meeting.
Take care. That was a great donation, too.
Yeah, that was awesome. All right, so I think I saw Bob out in the hallway. you want to go into, I think it's a
We
good time
can
to
do-
go into executive?
Yeah, we can do the executive.
Okay, perfect. All right, go ahead and make a motion to go into executive session.
I'd like to second that.
Motion been made and duly second. Roll call is in order. Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to go into executive session to return to public session.
All right, so we're going to tackle our 6:45 appointment, which is the dog hearing. But first, I'm going to go ahead and read the public notice. So, dear Mr. and Mrs. Young, please be advised that in accordance with the provisions of Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 140, Section 157, the Town of Marshfield Select Board, in their capacity as the hearing authority for the Town of Marshfield, will conduct a public hearing on Monday, November 21st, 2022 at 6:45 p.m. in the Select Board's meeting room located at 870 Marine Street, second floor, Marshfield, Mass. On a report/complaint received by the Select Board from the Marshfield Police Department and Animal Control Officer that Mr. Young's dog Coda, which is kept by Mr. Young on the premises at 150 Arnold Road in Marshfield, Massachusetts, constitutes a dangerous dog by reason of vicious disposition and/or as a result of an incident on August 25th, 2022, in which there were significant personal injuries from a dog bite to at least 2 minor children who were guests. One of the minor children was obligated to seek medical treatment at South Shore Hospital for her injuries. In the view of the Marshfield Police Department and Animal Control Officer, due to this case, Coda presents an unacceptably high risk of serious injury. You are advised of your right to attend the hearing, speak on your own behalf or through your legal representative, and present any witnesses or evidence in support of your position in this matter. If you fail to attend this public hearing, the Select Board reserves the right to proceed in your absence, make a determination in this matter, and proceed with such other restrictions or other measures necessary to prevent any further risk of injury. If you have any questions about the proceeding, you're directed to speak with Marshfield Administrator Michael Maresco. Yeah. All right. So I'll go ahead. Well, we did it in executive session, so I think we're good. Thank you, Lynn. All right. So first, we'll have our town council administer the oath to anyone who'll be testifying tonight. So if anyone is looking to testify, please raise your hand.
Anybody who's testifying, I do solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Please swear.
Great. Thank you, Bob. All right. So again, this is not a trial, and the rules of evidence will not necessarily apply, and the right to question any witnesses will be at the direction of the chair of the Select Board and must be made through the Select Board chair. All right. So tonight we're going to make a determination whether the dog named Coda, which is the subject of this complaint, is a dangerous dog. And if we do reach that conclusion, then we will vote on any particular subsequent action to take on that front. In Mass General Law, Chapter 140, Section 136, defines a dangerous dog as a dog that either, without justification, attacks a person or domestic animal causing physical injury or death, or behaves in a manner that a reasonable person would believe poses an unjustified imminent threat of physical injury or death to a person or to a domestic or owned animal. So, Bob, are we good to proceed to kind of get the
Yes.
order of events?
Here from the Animal Control Officer and Lieutenant Sullivan.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Bob. All right, so Courtney and Lieutenant.
Thank you. On Thursday, August 25th at approximately 10:30 a.m., I was dispatched to 150 Arnold Road to respond to a dog bite incident. Upon arrival, I located Madeline Young and entered the home to speak with her. Madeline explained to me that her granddaughter, Paige Buckley, brought 2 children she was babysitting over to her house to swim. And when they entered the front door, her dog, Dakota, charged the door and started attacking the children, Peter and Ellery Beckman. Madeline stated that she used Windex sprayer to distract the dog to get the dog away from the children. At the time that I entered the house, Dakota was locked behind a glass sliding door. Dakota did not growl or bark at myself or Officer Forbes, and she appeared to be confused. I asked Madeline if Dakota has ever shown aggression or bitten anyone previously, which she stated no. Madeline was very visibly distraught and stated that she was shocked that this incident happened. I advised Madeline that Dakota would be placed on quarantine and that she should consult a veterinary behaviorist / trainer to have her evaluated, and that Dakota be kept away from children.
Thank you. Lieutenant Sullivan, do you have anything you wanted to add?
I don't. I was just sworn in proactively in case you needed me for something.
Thank you. All right. Did you have any questions or comments, Jim?
I do not, sir.
Any questions or comments, Lynn?
No, I've read it, thank you.
All right, great.
Although I'd like to reserve maybe, as we move along, maybe make a comment, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, thank you, both. So are the owners of Coda in attendance tonight? All right, great. So would you guys like to come forward and? Good, how are you doing? And just to lower the temperature and your blood pressure a little bit, Coda's not at risk of being put down,
my blood
so
pressure's
don't
fine.
worry about
Thank
that, so. So,
No, I'd just like to start, I feel terrible the incident happened. I was
Address for the record.
sure,
Identify you.
name and address for the record.
Paul Young, 150 Arnold Road,
Thank you.
Marshfield. So again, I feel terrible the incident happened. I was not home at the time. I was moving my daughter into college. The kids that were at the house, I believe have been at the house before. I don't know them. It's not my niece that was there. It was somebody else, not a family member, my nephew's girlfriend. And again, I've never met the family. I've never met the kids. The dog officer said that the dog was behind a locked gate. We don't have any locked gates. The dog was within our home. We haven't had never had an incident with this dog. We have a high traffic volume of people through our home, people of all ages. The Coda goes to the vet, gets shots, blood, never an issue. The assistant dog officer came by for the quarantine, no issues. She just was. It was an unfortunate incident, and again, I wasn't home at the time, so I don't know what happened. And we're taking some steps to make sure that nothing happens in the future. But as far as for 4 years, we've never had an issue with the dog. And again, we have a pool in the backyard, and everybody knows my family in this town. We have a lot of people coming through it, and I wasn't there. I can't explain what happened. It's never happened before. And if need be, we can make some steps to make sure if somebody's uncomfortable in the home, or if I'm not home, obviously, different things can happen. I have kids at the house myself, my own kids, and the dog's a family member, and I feel terrible that it happened, but I've never met the parents, I've never met the kids, and it's just an unfortunate incident. And other than that, that dog has been a great family dog. So, we have a big fenced-in backyard. The dog's never loose. It's never. It basically stays home, keeps my 83-year-old mother company. Okay, so, and again, we have people in and out, and we've had people since in and out, and we haven't had an incident. So, again, it's just I feel terrible it happened, being a dad, and I don't feel she's, a vicious animal. I don't know. I wasn't there. It was an unfortunate, isolated incident, and that's pretty much all I can say.
Yeah, understood. And some of the steps that you're thinking about taking, were them involving, having a dog trainer come by or a dog behavioral expert?
So as far as her being trained, she's an incredibly well-trained dog. We're thinking, we're definitely going to try to get some expert opinions, but on how to prevent an incident like this happening. On our own end, it'd just be a matter of, hey, if I'm not home, nobody just comes. And again, I think the kids have been there a few times swimming in the pool, and I've never met them, and I feel terrible. But, we're open to suggestions as far as from a trainer, how to do it. Whether it be shot call, whatever. I don't know, I'm not an expert. But, we've had dogs here for 50 years, and we've never had an incident. So, we're working on it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions or comments, Jim?
None at this time, sir.
Okay, any questions or comments, Lynn?
Is the dog crated when he is in the house, or?
So the dog has her crate. We have a crate, a large crate that fits the size of the dog. And she has what we have for, if you, little fences to keep it from going upstairs or downstairs. But she has the whole backyard with a 6-foot-high fence around the whole property. And, storm door, a steel front door. It's not, we've never had to think about it before. We've never had an incident with having even my own children, all my nieces and nephews, and never mind the hundreds of trick-or-treaters that come by. And I don't know what happened that day.
So
the credible evidence that we are really trying to get to the bottom of exactly what happened that day and whether or not this dog is a danger is what I want to understand. So
What
if you're
triggered the
saying you
incident?
weren't there that day,
Right.
your explanation of this situation is not really in the explanation that I would be looking for.
Okay. I don't understand how I can give you, my explanation is I've had the dog for 4 years around children.
For that particular event.
And
I'm just trying to
for that
understand the
particular
evidence for
event,
that particular
I
event.
was not home to tell you that somebody poked the dog in the eye, or
Okay. All
So-
right, so maybe we can get to the bottom of that.
there's, you know, that was it. But as far as the amount of times we've had children at the house, and my own children and family members, we've never had an incident. So to answer your question, yes, I don't know what happened at that particular moment.
Okay, thank you.
We've never had it before, and we haven't had it since.
Chair, I'm satisfied with that answer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, are there any other witnesses for tonight's hearing?
Not at this time.
Okay, so I think we got one behind you. So you're all set with your portion. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Yep. And could you state your name and address for the record?
Caitlin Beckman, 17 Wampatuck Road in Hingham.
Sure.
Thanks for letting me speak. I'm Caitlin Beckman. I am the mother of the children who were attacked at 150 Arnold Street. I reached out to the select board following this incident really with one intention, and that is to just request that the proper investigation into the safety of the dog is conducted and any additional restrictions are put in place to ensure, one, that people who enter or approach the home are aware of the presence of a potentially aggressive dog who's on his own territory. I understand that. Or two, restrictions are put in place to ensure the dog does not get loose or have the opportunity, which it sounds like Mr. Young has steps in place to do that. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be requesting someone's animal, someone who's like a family member, I imagine, has restrictions put on them. However, as a mother who went through this and saw the potential damage that this dog could do, and whose mind can only go to what could have ended tragically, I could not possibly not come here and say something. So in terms of what happened that day, I was not there either. But according to witnesses and the police report, as the police were called due to screaming and crying that was happening because of the incident, my children, 7, 5, and 3, were visiting the home. They had been there before. They were with our child care provider, Paige Buckley. As they walked through the house, Coda came in from outside and charged my 3-year-old son. Paige was able to pick him up before the dog could bite, but the pure weight and power of the dog led to my son being knocked around and sustaining facial injuries, as well as his tooth partially went through his lip. Paige also sustained a puncture wound defending him and bruising on her arm, which was attended to later at urgent care. After that, Coda turned and went after my 5-year-old daughter, who is back towards the door, pinning her to the ground and violently shaking her by the hair and biting. As a result of that attack, a large chunk of hair was pulled out from the side of her head. She received defensive stitches in 7 places across her left hand and arm, right foot, and ankle. She sustained a deep, large, gaping wound on her left buttocks, which will require future surgeries to repair properly. While this was happening, 2 people did try to intervene, but the dog's collar slipped off of her neck, and she was unable to be controlled physically or through verbal commands, according to all witnesses on the scene. The attack was quick, and the only reason she retreated was due to being sprayed in the face with Windex because a bottle happened to be right there. I absolutely stay up at night thinking about what my 38-pound daughter could have sustained had a Windex bottle not been there. The dog was also not up to date with her rabies shots. So my point is, again, the dog sounds like it's been a wonderful family dog to date. My kids were on her property. She was probably defending her territory. Her owner was not there. However, I don't want anyone walking in that house without knowing what could potentially happen because it was unprovoked. They walked into the house and they were attacked. The dog was not controllable. Verbal and physical interactions did not stop it. And again, had it not been for that Windex bottle, it was life-threatening or life-altering injuries that we would have been looking at. So I'm requesting that I just want to know that this was looked into properly, and that the safety of this dog is looked at, and if there are additional steps that can be taken just to, again, ensure anyone entering the property knows that there could potentially be a dangerous dog, that the dog can't get out. That's all I'm requesting. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for coming in today. I'm sure it wasn't easy to walk through that again, so.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Did you have any questions or comments, Jim?
Yeah, just a quick one, if I may.
Oh, yeah.
So, I always find these some of our most difficult hearings to do because of what you just stated. I mean, pets become almost like a member of the family. But the letter you sent, unless I read it wrong, you wanted me to remember this. The attack on my children was unprovoked. The dog was uncontrollable during the attack. And if not for quick thinking, it could have been a life-threatening or altering injury. So those are the three things you asked me to consider, the board to consider. Unfortunately, those are, to me, fairly grave statements. These are children. So they're not grown adults. And from the way I read this, if I'm correct, and I'm willing to have things clarified, that Chapter 140, Section 136 defines a dangerous dog. So is the dog dangerous? And the definition of a dangerous dog is a dog that either, one, without justification, attacks a person or domestic animal causing physical injury or death. That's the definition of a dangerous dog. And your letter, to me, clearly states, although you weren't there, so we don't have anyone, eyewitnesses that were there, that without justification, this dog did attack 3 children. So to me, the decision seems to be very clear, either it's a dangerous dog or it's not. And if there is, I don't know if signs work. So I think that's the difficult challenge that we have to my other 2 board members on this, because of what the letter clearly states. So, thank you, Mr. Chair, for letting me speak.
Thank you, Jim. Do you have any questions or comments, Lynn?
Chapter 140, Section 136 behaves in a manner that a reasonable person would believe poses an unjustified imminent threat of physical injury or death to a person or to a domestic or owned animal. That's also part of that, and I agree at this point that that's something that this board will have to discuss, because that is also a concern. That's it.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so if the board were to find that Coda is a dangerous dog, there are a few options at our disposal as a broad spectrum. How would the board feel about, if Coda's outside, that Coda be safely contained in the backyard? If Coda's in the front yard or out for a walk, that Coda be restrained by a leash not longer than 3 feet? And if any unfamiliar guests to Coda are to visit the house, that Coda be safely restrained? Would that satisfy the concerns of the board?
Before we go to that point, is there anything else that the animal control officer would like to add before we go down that route, if that's okay with you?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
I mean, at this time, there's nothing else for me to add. I hadn't had any problems with this dog before this incident, and I haven't had any problems since. I did give my list of recommendations from that list, and I still stand by those same recommendations.
So that I'm satisfied that we can move forward. And If are you asking me specifically whether or not I'd be content with those
Yes.
No.
Okay. What more would you potentially like to see?
Is there some sort of, and I'm not even sure, how would an individual in the neighborhood stay clear of a fence that is, I don't know what their fence looks like, I don't know the details of their property, so is there some sort of signage or anything like that that we could put forth to make the public aware? I know people aren't supposed to trespass, but things do happen, and I don't know the security of their fence system, so.
Yeah, I think that'd be perfect to direct towards Bob, and yes.
It's a 6-foot wooden stockade fence around the entire property with both no trespassing as well as beware of dog signs in multiple places on the property.
Okay, thank you, appreciate that information.
Thank you. Did you have anything else you would like to?
So in light of that information, I'd be satisfied with that at this time.
Great, thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
And how about you, Jim?
So, Mr. Chairman, what you were stating is 2, basically, 1, 2, 3?
Yeah,
So that is, if I can just
Totally.
paraphrase, so I'm with you. It's basically restrained, right?
Yep.
So that people are protected. And it has to stay within inside a secure enclosed lock pen, a dog run area, not tethered to a tree, so, and it doesn't sound like that at all. It sounds like the dog has the whole backyard. And there's a clear definition of what that fence should be. And if the dog is taken for a walk, they wear a muzzle. And there's a specific tensile strength for the, I guess, whatever you want to call it, the rope line, whatever, and the length. And those are the 3 things you're recommending?
Yes, not verbatim, but effectively, yeah, the safe restraints.
Yeah. Which is basically 1, 2, and 3. Okay, I am fine with that.
Okay, great. All right, so first I'll go ahead and make a motion to find that Coda is a dangerous dog. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Roll call.
Roll call is in order. Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne.
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler.
Aye.
Unanimous vote to declare the dog dangerous.
Great, and then I'll make a motion that if Coda is outside, that she be safely contained in the fenced-in backyard, or if Coda's out for a walk, that she be on a leash not longer than 3 feet, and that if any unfamiliar guests to Coda are to visit the house, that Coda be safely restrained. Is there a second?
Would the dog have a muzzle or no muzzle outside?
The muzzle outside on a leash is not included in my motion.
Okay, all right, that's what I want to say. So 3 has securely and humanely muzzled and restrained with each other, not 300 pounds, 3 feet. If the board wants to go with that, I'm fine with that as well, Mr. Chairman. Whatever our clerk thinks.
I think it definitely needs to be on a muzzle if it is anywhere outside of that fenced area and on their property, in light of the fact that the children may be available. He mentioned the kids are in the neighborhood or whatever. So it needs to be, there have been no other complaints with this dog being off leash, so. I think that-
So you're saying you would like it muzzled when it's on its walks and not be muzzled,
Correct.
to have a muzzle?
When it's being walked, it needs to be muzzled on a 3-foot.
Do you have a thought on it?
Given the lack of a longer history there, at this stage, I'd be okay with no muzzle on a leash. But I understand the concerns are very valid.
Yeah, so 3, since we're going with 3 and 3 does call that out, I realize we have flexibility in that, Mr. Chairman. But also since this dog did not respond to commands. Now, I realize the owner wasn't there, but someone may not be walking the dog that's not the dog's owner. So maybe I'd be willing to go with the clerk on this and say, yeah, it's not a big deal. You see them lots of times, people out there. So I'd be willing to do that.
Sure, okay, I will redo the motion. So I'll make a motion
We have a, Mr. Chairman, we have someone, I don't know if you want to at this point allow more comment or not.
Yes.
You can leave it in there.
You sure?
It's fine.
You kind with that?
And I always say too that no decision is final. If there's rehabilitative progress, we can always revisit it. Okay. All right, so I'll go ahead and make a motion that if Coda is outside, that Coda be safely contained in the fenced-in backyard. If she's out on a walk, that she be on a leash not longer than 3 feet with a muzzle. And that if any unfamiliar guests to Coda are inside the house, that Coda be safely restrained.
I'll second that.
A motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to have the dog securely and humanely muzzled if outside walking, and we'll just refer it to the rest of the results.
Jenna takes great notes, so. All right, great. So that concludes the hearing. Again, you guys, we can always revisit it, and you have 10 days to appeal if you so choose. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for coming in, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chief.
All right, so our next appointment is with Anne Marie. This is the classification hearing. Hey, what's up, Chris? Our annual fun appointment.
Good evening. This is the annual classification hearing where the select board votes if the town will adopt a single or a split tax rate, small commercial exemption, and the residential exemption. If the town adopts a split rate between the residential tax base, the commercial, industrial, personal property tax base will have more of a burden put on the property owners. For fiscal year 2023, the residential tax base represents 93.17%, while the commercial, industrial, personal property represents 6.832% of the taxable property in Marshfield. The town can shift the rate up to 50%. I've provided the select board a packet of information outlining the different options for the 3 items that they'll be voting on this evening. The tax rate is only an estimated tax rate at this time. The last step of the process is the Department of Revenue certifies the rate after all the data is entered into, and the Bureau of Local Assessment approves it, and the Local of Accounts approve it. As you can see from the information packet, shifting the tax burden between the residential and commercial, industrial, personal property taxpayers gives a very modest reduction in the residential tax rate versus a much more significant burden on the commercial, industrial, personal property taxpayer. Typically, a town should have at least 20 to 30% of commercial, industrial, personal property to give more of an equitable share of the tax levy. During the November 7th Board of Assessors meeting, the board considered the analysis and fiscal impact and voted to recommend to the select board a factor of 1 and reject the residential and small business exemption.
Great, thank you. I know it's in an ideal world, we'd have more commercial development where we could split the rate, but we're just not quite there. And I know in the past, so when you guys have analyzed it, that if we were to split it, it'd put a big burden on the commercial property and not really provide that much rate relief to the residential. So it makes sense not to split it and to keep it single. And for anyone who has their pitchfork and torch ready, the tax rate did go down. It's just that the value of all these properties went through the roof because the world is crazy right now.
Right.
So.
And the shift sheet that I provided has a very estimated tax rate. I just want to remind the board that you're not voting on the actual rate itself, just on if it's going to be a single or a split rate. And another fun fact, the residential percent went up a little bit compared to last year, and the commercial, industrial, personal property actually went down a little bit. So it just went down just a little bit, but if you're looking at the numbers, there was that little influx to that difference, so.
Perfect, thank you. Is there anything you wanted to add, Chris or Anne
No,
Marie?
just wanted to back it up, we thought it was best to get more growth in the business too, if you have the single rate, and we could use more business, and it's working in a good way, so.
Awesome. Do you have any questions or comments, Jim?
I do not, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Do you have any questions or comments, Lynn?
No, other than thank you for providing such a detailed report.
Yeah, it was a good report.
Very thoughtful.
Yeah,
Awesome. Thanks,
So
guys.
there's 3 things that we need to vote on tonight before we leave. If you can vote on if you want to do a single or a split.
Yeah,
And actually move that the town of Marshfield continues to tax all classes the same rate by adopting a factor of 1 and rejecting the small commercial exemption and the residential exemption.
yeah,
If we could do that, that'd be awesome.
absolutely,
Thank you.
yeah. So I'll go ahead and make a motion that the town of Marshfield continues to tax all classes at the same rate by adopting a factor of 1 and to reject the small commercial exemption and the residential exemption. Is there a second?
I support that, and I will second that.
Thank you.
Roll call.
Roll call, a motion's been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to
Excellent.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
guys.
continue the tax classes.
Thanks for coming in.
All right, next up, we have our poll hearing, so I'll just go ahead and read the notice of public hearing. In conformity with the requirements of Section 22 of Chapter 166 of the General Laws, you are hereby notified that a public hearing will be held at the Marshfield Town Hall Selectmen's Hearing Room, A70 Marine Street, Marshfield, Mass. On the 21st day of November 2022 at 7:10 p.m. Upon the petition of Verizon New England Incorporated and N-Star Electric Company doing business as Eversource Energy dated July 26, 2022, for permission to erect or construct in a location for a line of wires, poles, and such other fixtures as may be necessary to sustain or protect the wires of the line upon, along, across, or under the following public ways of said town, Marshfield. So do we have a representative from Verizon here?
I'm from Verizon, sir. James Murphy. Do you need my home address?
No, you're good.
Okay.
Thank you.
So they want to, in joint use with Eversource on Regis Road between the 2 poles in front of the school, erect another pole that will give Eversource access to a manhole that they are going to put in the future. And it is also going to help take up the slack in that wire because it's a long span right now. It's over 230 feet. So this is going to be in between the 2. It'll take up that span, should help you in the wintertime with sagging wires with ice and everything else.
Great, thank you. Do you have any questions or comments, Jim?
No, I don't.
Okay. Any questions or comments, Lynn?
No, thank you.
All right, great. Is there anyone in the audience who is in a butter that wishes to comment? All right, perfect. All right, so I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the installation of one JO pole 419/3.5 on the southwesterly side of Regis Road. The new location being approximately 687 southeast of the center line of Careswell Street and is 30 degrees southeasterly of existing pole 419/3 and is 200 degrees northwesterly of existing pole 419/4. The installation is a request by Eversource to provide a connection point for a future handhole at the Governor Winslow School and to shorten the span distance between the 2 existing poles to prevent sagging wires. Said poles to be erected substantially in accordance with the plan filed herewith, marked VZNE Inc., Plan Number Massachusetts 2022-28, dated August 24th, 2022. Is there a second?
Second?
All those in, sorry, roll call.
Well, the motion's been made and duly second. Roll call is in order. Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Unanimous vote.
Perfect. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
All right, perfect. So,
Action items.
are there any folks in the audience who are here for a particular action item? We can save you some time if you. Bob, yeah. Yeah.
The Roderick boundary line agreement?
Perfect. There we go. All right, we're going to go to action item number 10, which is a discussion and vote on approval of the Roderick Boundary Agreement. Bob, do you want to walk us through this one?
We're at 10? So you set your...
So, thank you for offering to do that.
You're welcome.
I was gonna drive a truck through that one.
In any event, the Roderick family owns the property at the end of Wrexham Road, which is at the southerly tip of Wrexham Beach in the private area. Their property was one of the properties that was involved, not necessarily at their request, but in the lawsuit that the town had over the ownership of the beach. And this is a boundary line agreement that was authorized by a prior town meeting vote. We've come to an agreement, and the selectmen are basically being asked to recognize what is the Roderick's land and what is going to be the town land in that particular area. And we've agreed that where the Roderick's home is located and the lot that behind it, which they've improved with a home and they've maintained their septic system and over all these years, will be theirs, and the seawall is theirs, and everything outside of that area is town property, which is what the result of the court case was. So this boundary line agreement actually settles the specific issue with them, and it was authorized by town meeting.
Great.
And it took us a number of years to get this. The Rodericks have paid all the taxes that we stopped receiving when there was a question about who owned this land. And it was a significant amount of money. They'll be responsible for the seawall in front of the house, which is good for the town, I think.
Yeah, great.
Right? But that closes that chapter.
That's always a good thing, right?
Yeah, so I'm just asking you to endorse that. We'll record it, and it'll be recorded with a plan prepared by Stenbeck and Taylor, and everybody will be happy.
Great, thank you, Bob.
All right?
Any questions or comments, Jim?
I think, Attorney Galvin, that is a close one chapter in that area, but
Yeah.
that beach is,
We've
keeps
never
on
actually-
giving, doesn't it?
We've never actually determined the upward extent of the town's land, but it doesn't seem to be,
But we've got this all.
we've got that part of it solved forever.
Yeah, perfect. Any questions or comments?
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, I'll go ahead and make a motion to endorse the Roderick Boundary Line Agreement pursuant to Article 13 of the October 19th, 2020 Special Town Meeting, authorizing the Select Board to enter into a boundary line agreement for 20 Wrexham Road in Marshfield. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Unanimous vote.
Thanks, Bob.
All right.
Thank you, Counsel.
Did your car had enough time to charge?
I get 3 miles.
Awesome. All right, and I think we have some folks here who are interested in our action item for the Historic District Study Committee. So we'll dive into that one. All right, so Michael, do you want to set the table for us? I know you're pretty well versed on some of the important points of establishing a local Historic District Study Committee, so I didn't know if you want to walk us through
Sure,
that.
let me just, I'll quickly walk you through, and I know Cindy's here
Perfect.
to answer any questions why they want to pursue this. So, Local Historic District Commission, there are 3 major purposes under 40C: to preserve and protect the distinctive characteristics of a building and places significant in the history of the city and towns, to maintain improved settings of those buildings and places, and to encourage new designs compatible with existing buildings in that district. It's the strongest form of protection as a local historic district created through a local bylaw or an ordinance. In our case, would be through a bylaw. Local historic district commissions review changes to exterior architectural features visible from the parkway. Demolition is a most deteriorating issue. So one of the reasons that you have a study committee is to look at, how do you prevent these types of buildings, a certain classification of historic buildings, from being totally eviscerated. It's one of the things the commission looks at. It's very similar. It works part and parcel with National Register districts, except it's administered at the local level. When a district is created, if the board was to appoint a local historic district commission, they go out, there's a sort of a category of where people get chosen, not just anyone can serve on it. And, if they propose a historic district, town meeting has to approve that district. Let's see. So study committee would be most effective if its membership embraces a variety of organizations, such as local historic commission members, architectural historians, regular historians, landscape architects, lawyers, residents or property owners in a potential district, business owners, chamber of commerce members, public relations professionals, planning board members, conservation commission members, open space advocates, institutional property owners, real estate professionals, affordable housing advocates, and elderly housing advocates. And so that just gives you a little perspective of what the committee would look like.
Yeah, that was very helpful. Thank you, Michael. Cindy, did you have anything you wanted to present or add?
Just that with the increase of demolitions in some of the Marshfield's most historic neighborhoods, including Grant Rock, Old Rexham, and Harbor, has necessitated research on the best way to preserve the character of the community. Several areas have already been listed in the Massachusetts Cultural Resources Information System, or MACRIS, system with the Commonwealth. And it's our hope that the town will pursue a bylaw change in ordinance that would further preserve these properties.
Thank you so much, and thanks for stepping up, too.
You're welcome.
Any questions or comments, Jim?
Yes. I spoke with Michael, our town administrator, today, kind of at length on this subject, and it's a fairly complicated subject. Mike just touched on a few of it, who are members, how the members are appointed, what are the checks and balances of properties being put in these districts, whether the people would want them in the districts, not want them in the districts. These are people's private homes, that you might be changing their ability of what they can do with their personal property. So that always gets my attention. There are definite pluses to this, and there are definite, I'd say, minuses. There's pros and cons, and I just want to make sure we don't have the application of the law of unexpected consequences. And I'd like to maybe, if we could invite, I don't know, Mike, if we could do this, if we could invite some members of other towns, you and I were talking about this.
Yes.
And say, what was your experience with this? How did you go about doing it? And then we could hear a little more about it prior to make a decision. I'd feel better about that, Mr. Chairman. So, I don't know if we could do that, Michael.
I'd be happy to reach out to some surrounding towns around us that may have local historic district commissions, and we can invite them to come in and sort of talk about, what their experiences were, what some of the hurdles were that they encountered with their residents of not wanting to be listed in the district, or the positives of those that want to be listed in the district.
Yeah, maybe we could make it stronger if we decided to do it. Yeah, okay. Thank you. That's my comments. Thank you, sir.
Great, thank you. Any questions or comments, Lynn?
The study committee itself, the nomination and appointment of a study commission, there are set guidelines, I'm going to just say guidelines, that other towns and neighborhoods have taken place to make that happen. So you provided, I'm guessing, we received a pretty lengthy explanation of this, and I'm guessing it's probably on our website as well. Is that true? Yes, okay. So my feeling on this is the changing in the bylaws, it's a process that takes great many months, sometimes years, to just plant the seed and then continue on. But I definitely agree with Mr. Kilcoyne that having the perspective from other towns, neighboring towns, and how they went through this process will be a huge benefit to figuring this out for the town of Marshfield, because I'm sure there are people that would be very adamantly opposed to this, and some that would be definitely in favor of it. So it's a learning process for a lot of us, and but this is a nice start.
This is the first step.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you. All right, I'll go ahead and make a motion to further study the request and ask the town administrator to pull together information from other towns that have local historic districts and commissions and present back to the select board his findings. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion been made, duly seconded, roll call is in order. Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Unanimous vote.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Cindy.
Thanks, Cindy, for coming.
So we're going to go to our first action item, which is a discussion and vote on an appointment of our acting conservation administrator, Michael Seal. Michael, I think you'll set the table pretty well, but it's my understanding that, since Bill put in his notice that Michael has taken and passed 4 or 5 training courses.
That is
he's
correct.
Been very proactive, and, we hired Michael because we wanted to make sure that we had someone trained and educated if Bill were to ever move on to greener pastures. Is there any other context you think would be helpful?
In Michael's short time here, he's done a really great job. He's really good with working with the public, going out, doing the field work. He's very good at working with the commission, and this will give him, a real good opportunity to show that he has what it takes, so.
Awesome.
And it keeps us moving forward and doesn't put a hold on projects that are coming before the commission.
Great, thanks, Michael. Do you have any questions or comments, Jim?
I do. I know Michael. He's been with us for about 6, 7, maybe 6 to 8 months now, 7 months or so. I concur. I think he's doing a very good job. I know lots of times people say, what's normal and customary? Normal and customary just means you do it a lot. Doesn't mean there's a basis for what you do. We have one of the busiest conservation commissions in the state. I was part of the team that fought very hard for the position that he's in. And we have right now someone who is already a consultant for us on the Conservation Commission that could, I think, step in, achieve this role, and also provide mentoring experience for Michael, because I think there's a very strong chance that he will end up being our strong candidate for this position. And during that time of the outside search to determine that, I think Mr. Finn could provide some great guidance and also provide some of his expertise of years of experience with Michael, because I think he's doing a great job, but 7 months is 7 months. And so it's not a long period of time, and I want to make sure that he has all the support that we can give him, so he is a total success for the town, and he feels good about it. So I think that is a alternative approach, and I'll yield to the board decision.
Great, thank you very much, Jim. Do you have any questions or comments, Lynn?
I have been watching, you're here in the audience, watching you for several months now, and I am impressed by what you bring to the table. I also understand that it is a growing, it's something that, it just takes time to establish your position within your board and your ability to do all the things that are necessary for Concom. The approach that Mr. Kilcoyne just suggested with Mr. Finn, he is a consultant, so I would expect that if you had a situation like you would with any of the departments within the town, that you would take it upon yourself to go out and search for the correct method of your thinking and the correct approach to every single hearing that you have in front of you. So in light of that, I think that Mr. Finn, as a consultant, would be one of those folks that you could reach out to, along with other folks here in the town and on our committees and boards. So I am very happy that you are part of our team, and I wish you luck, and I do support you.
And if I may add, I have been looping Bill Finn into a lot of complicated issues around town already. He has a wealth of information, and I do enjoy working with Bill. Yes.
Great. Did you have anything else that you would like to add, Michael?
Yeah, I have my certification from the Massachusetts Association of Conservation Commissioners. I have a certification from Eagle Hill Institute for wetland delineation, and I have a degree from Boston University in environmental analysis and policy. Anything that I don't know at this moment, I'm sure I can learn very quickly and come up to speed immediately.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, and I apologize for keeping you waiting. I should have gotten to you sooner. So I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve Michael Seal, the conservation agent, as the acting conservation administrator until a permanent administrator has been hired. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Unanimous vote.
Awesome. All right, thanks, Michael.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You had asked a little while ago if anybody's here for a particular action item.
Yes.
I'm here for
Thank you,
action
Michael.
item 7.
7? All right, perfect.
Item 7.
I don't know how this whole thing works, but I
Oh, that's okay. No worries.
please watch it. I don't know what I'm doing.
We appreciate your modesty.
Agricultural Commission in town here. We do have one, and if you didn't know it, we'll grow on you. Okay.
Perfect.
We do know of it.
Good to know. All right.
So I think it's always very gracious that this chair always tries to, if there's someone here, regardless of the order, always goes out of his way to try to accommodate the people that came in person. So if we missed you.
No, it was me, I don't know how this works, and then I got it. And then
Yeah,
then I
we're
figured
always
it
willing
out.
to accommodate that way.
So now I
Thank you,
know.
yes,
I'm
appreciate
good for
that,
7.
thank you. Perfect, all right. So that's a discussion vote to award a contract to Ramco Survey Stakes Company, Inc. Michael, do you just want to give us the background on that one?
Yes, so our consultant, Patrick Brennan, went out to bid on Munsfound Meadows parking improvements, which is contract AC 2023-01. And sealed bids for the contract were open on November 2nd, 2022. 5 bids were received. They're summarized below. There's a list of all of them. The lowest, most qualified bidder was Ramco Survey Stakes Company, Inc., out of West Bridgewater. They submitted the low bid for a total amount of $25,605. And they were for you tonight for the board to approve their winning of the bid.
Did you have anything that you would like to add?
No, do you guys have any questions?
Do you have any questions or comments, Jim?
I don't. I mean, if you look at the 5, there was quite a spread. And so I'm looking forward to Mr. Ramco's company doing a great job.
Great, awesome, thank you, Jim. Any questions or comments, Lynn?
I'm just looking at this book. Again. No, I think it's all, I think I'm all set. Thank you for asking, sir.
Thank you. All right, I'll go ahead and make a motion to award the contract for Mounces Meadow Parking Improvements, contract AC-2023-01 to Ramco Survey Stakes Company Incorporated of West Bridgewater, Massachusetts, in the amount of $25,605. Ramco Survey Stakes Company was the lowest qualified bidder. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, awesome. We'll do a little quick roll call.
Pardon me, yes, Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler? Unanimous
Aye.
vote to award the contract to the lowest, most qualified bidder.
It definitely needs parking improvement, so.
Yes, it does.
Definitely needs parking improvement.
You were lucky number 7 tonight.
Outstanding.
Have a nice night.
Thanks for coming in.
I think I fumbled the first 2 roll calls, Michael, so don't sweat it at all. All right,
you.
Lisa and Ann, are you here for the destruction of surplus items? No. Are you just here to hang
wanna
out?
see-
We're here to support Anne Marie, but Michael had asked us to give an update on Munis. I didn't see it on the agenda, so it can wait until the next meeting. No,
I had totally forgot because we had a big agenda, but we'll put you on for the next one.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
that's all right.
Yeah, but I'm sure you're happy you came anyway, because it was a lot of.
It's riveting.
Very
Yeah,
interesting.
it is riveting, that's my term.
You know I like to come to these meetings. All right.
Yeah, you
Well,
guys.
thanks for coming.
No worries.
Thank you.
We look forward to the next presentation.
Yeah, I do want to hear about
Maybe I'll
Munis.
try to put something in PowerPoint.
That would be great.
Yeah, all right. And then there is one in the back right.
She's
WATD?
WATD.
All right, so now all the good stuff is left, right?
Yep.
All right, number 2 is the common vic license for the South Shore Celebration of Lights. This one's pretty straightforward, an annual event. Did you want to add anything else, Michael?
It's just, this is a new company that's coming in and doing the holiday lights. It's Fiesta Shows versus the company out of New York. So they're ready to go. They just need the approval of the board.
Awesome. Any questions or comments, Jim?
Sounds like a nice night.
Any questions or comments, Lynn? All right, great. I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve a common vic license for Fiesta Shows of Seabrook, New Hampshire, South Shore Celebration of Lights for the Marshfield Fairgrounds located at 140 Main Street from November 25th, 2022 through December 30th, 2022, with hours of operation from 5 p.m. till 10 p.m. daily, pending approval from the building department and property taxes having been paid. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion been made, duly second. Roll call is in order. Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve Fiesta Shows.
Awesome. And then number 3 is a conflict waiver that KP Law submitted. So they were, just being pretty cautious and transparent, letting us know. That's to do with like South Shore Vocational,
Council.
effectively.
That is correct, because they represent South Shore Vocational. As folks know, we're going through the process to see if we want to join them. They also act as special counsel, handling some land transactions for us also.
Great. Thank you, Michael.
Excuse me.
Any questions or comments?
I do
Jim?
not, Mr. Chairman.
Any questions or comments, Lynn?
No, sir.
I'll go ahead and make a motion that the board consents and approves to KP Law, PC, representing the South Shore Regional Vocational School District as special counsel, as disclosed in a letter to the town dated October 31st, 2022, notwithstanding that KP Law PC also serves as special counsel for the town of Marshfield. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve consent to KP Law.
Great. Doesn't sound like they had a very fun Halloween over at KP Law.
No.
They sent the letter on.
They were all work.
Yeah, exactly. All right, next we have some furniture for surplus for auction or destruction from my friends over at the library. Jim, you always have fun with the photos we get,
I
so
love
I'm
the
gonna
photos.
cede the floor to you. If you'd like to.
I'm missing the photos, but I can visualize
Yes.
what a 20-year-old filing cabinet can look like and broken chairs. So I will miss them this time, but I'm willing to move forward and accept them.
All right, perfect. Very big of you.
All right.
Did you have anything else you wanted to add, Michael?
Just that, I thank the board for this. The chairs are all stained. They've been cleaned a number of times. They're stained with, I don't want to be gross, bodily fluid, so you only can clean them so many times, so they need to be disposed of. Now, when we buy chairs, they're vinyl so that they can sanitize properly, stuff like that.
Yeah.
She has a number of books that we rotate out. We give the books to people if they're available. Likewise, any equipment, file cabinets and stuff like that. If there's a nonprofit or someone that wants them, some of these are rusted, they're broken, they don't slide back and forth. Mr. Kilcoyne
Although
has
we
the
don't
pictures
have them up here
of the
for
stained
what I
chairs.
always do enjoy, we did have them in the binder.
Thanks for sharing.
You're welcome.
There's no doubt they squeezed every ounce of life they could out of those chairs.
You don't even want to sit on those.
No. Any questions or comments, Lynn?
No.
All right, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the request of Cindy Marcoux, the librarian, to surplus, withdraw, and destroy library materials, furniture, or fixtures at the end of their useful life. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve.
All right, great. So number 5, just waiving the building permit fees for the demolition of the second floor offices here at Town Hall. Yeah. We don't like to charge ourselves fees. Did you have any questions or comments, Jim?
I'm just thrilled to see that moving forward.
Yeah, very exciting. Any questions or comments, Lynn?
No.
Awesome. All right, so I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the request of the building commissioner, Andrew Stewart, on behalf of Paul Williams to waive the building permit fee for the demolition of the second floor office space at Town Hall. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve.
Awesome. Yeah, Jenna moves from the first floor to the second floor, and she gets a new second floor.
It worked out well.
Yeah, it's a good timing. All right, number 6, this is waiving an electrical permit fee for 93 Old Colony Lane and 965 Plain Street. Did you have any questions or comments, Jim?
I do not.
Any questions or comments, Lynn?
No.
All right, I'm going to make a motion to approve the request of Andrew Stewart, the building commissioner, on behalf of John Duquette of Hunt Electric and Monique Cressy of ICCSI to waive the electric permit fees for 93 Old Colony Lane charging station and 965 Plain Street data cabling wiring, respectively.
Motion been,
Sorry, is there a second?
I will second.
I was a little too quick then.
I like that you're ready, though.
Been made and duly seconded for a roll call. Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve.
Perfect, and we did number 7. Number 9 is just basically seems like coming up to the minimum wage for the Council on Aging for folks helping out with the property tax relief work-off program. It's going to go to $15 an hour for the calendar year 2023. Am I missing anything else, Michael?
Nope, that's it. It extends the tax benefit. Will go from $14.25 per person per year to $1,500 per person per year.
Great, thank you, Michael. Any questions or comments, Jim?
I do not.
Any questions or comments, Lynn?
No.
Excellent. All right, so I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the request of the Council on Aging to increase the hourly rate earned for the property tax relief work-off program from $14.25 to $15 per hour, which is the minimum wage for 2023. The tax benefit would then go from $1,425 in gross earnings to $1,500, which is the limit allowed by the state. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve.
All right, great. In terms of action items, we're on to the last one, number 11, which is the veterans department is looking to accept the donation for $500. It's very generous, and we greatly appreciate that. And the donation is coming from the Marshfield Korean War Veterans Association, so we appreciate that very, very much. Do you have any questions or comments, Jim?
These are always great to get. I'm very appreciative of the Marshfield KWVA.
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah.
Any questions or comments, Lynn?
No, thank you.
All right. It's probably our easiest one. That's the one that I stumbled through. That's the end of the meeting.
It works.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to accept on behalf of the Veteran Services a donation in the amount of $500 from the Marshfield Korean War Veterans Association. The donation will be used to assist our veterans and their families in time of need. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Unanimous vote.
Awesome. And then we have our meeting minutes from Halloween and November 14th. Any questions or comments, Jim?
Yes, I do. Just to let you know that attorney's office was not the only people that were working
That's right.
on October 31st.
Good callback.
All right, thank you.
Nice.
And I would second that.
Perfect. Any questions or comments, Lynn?
No.
All right, perfect. I like that. I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from October 31st, 2022. It was a very spooky meeting. And November 14th, 2022. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve.
All right, and seeing no further business, I will make a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to adjourn, and happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Yeah.
Well said.
Thank you.
Well said.